Alright, so here's going to be a fun project. I have an old Dietz Comet that we found a few years ago at I think it was an antique store. And, you know, they're not that expensive. This thing's pretty worn. It looks like it had been in the sun a lot. And because I've taken it all apart, and there's hardly any rust on it. And so what I want to do actually is a small repair, and it does happen to leak a little bit around here. I've already kind of started scuffing it off of there, but these are crimped. These old style lanterns like this, you know, they're not real expensively made, and it has a slight leak around it when you put kerosene or lamp oil in it. And I wanted to fix that, but I don't know if I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to actually restore it, put a little new paint, some fresh paint on there. I might do that. It wouldn't take much. These were painted when they were all put together. As you can see, there's overspray and stuff inside of it. But I was going to really quickly just see if I can actually solder this up. And I've got some 60-40 solder here, which apparently is what you're supposed to use. I have some old stuff here, and I got some new stuff that I was going to try a little bit thicker. And a little butane torch. And then I have a bit of flux that I'm going to try to flow some in there. So I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can just really, you know, put a real small bead of solder around this edge. And if that works and it doesn't leak, then this thing is actually would be completely operational. I don't even think it really leaked around the lid, and they tend to leak around these sometimes. So I'm going to give it a shot, at least try it, and I'm going to take a little bit of paint stripper and then just see if I can get this lower portion of paint just kind of off, and then I'm going to take some steel wool and clean it all up. And I have some really fine stuff here, quadruple aught, really fine steel wool, and just kind of polishes it. And then I'm just going to try to sneak a little bit of solder in there. So you know, these actually work. You know, they're nice light sources, you know, for just small things. The Dietz Comet, as this is called, this is the original globe and everything on here. I'm sure this is fairly old, probably from the 30s or 40s. These are the official lanterns of the Boy Scouts back in the day. So they were used kind of like a flashlight. You know, they're really cool. I think these are called a cold vent lantern, and they have an air vent that goes on each side and kind of makes the flame burn a little bit brighter than just the standard ones. So they're kind of a cool lantern. You know, as you can see, they're just small. Here's the comparison. Here's like a little mini torch next to it, and they're just really tiny. But yeah, it'd be cool, and I think we might actually hang this up in the cabin. So this is, you know, get a few minutes. I try to do little projects that we can use up there, and you know, this would be a little auxiliary light. You know, if we didn't want to run batteries or a generator, you could have light. We have a couple of these actually. The other one looks a little bit newer, and it doesn't leak at all. So I'm probably just going to leave it alone. But they're identical. So it's kind of faded. I think it looks kind of cool. So if I can make this kind of minimal, then I might just leave it. Just kind of leave it aged like that. I think it's kind of neat. All right, well, I'm going to get started. I think the key is not to use too much heat. Actually, I think I used too much heat on the first part of it. But you learn. There's a little bit more flux in there. Lay that along. It's kind of nice. It just kind of flows right along where you put this stuff. It's like it sucks it right down into that crease. So my hope is that it actually bonds down below where it needs to be. Now that I got the hang of it, I really burned this side way too much. I might actually go and kind of repair that now that I know how to do this. It's just part of learning, really. You never learn if you don't try it. So now it's just going to pull that solder right along there. I'm going to heat it up just enough. There it goes. See, it just flows right in there. Doesn't take, see, I just pulled it right on through. Doesn't take much solder, actually. Kind of heat it up over here, and it's going to pull that in. Pulls it right down into it. Don't go crazy with the heat, and it settles right in there. I'm just going to keep moving. And just kind of heat that up. Let's settle in. Okay, looks a little rough on that side. This side came out a little better. You can kind of see. Now I'm going to take some sandpaper and sort of clean it all up. See what it looks like. Okay, well, I just filled it up with kerosene. Actual kerosene, the stinky kind, and it's pretty full. It's almost to the top. It's almost to the top there, so you can kind of see it in there. Put the cap back on it. You gotta light it in the dark to get the full effect. There we go. 1930s style flashlight right there. Still works good. Now I'll let it heat up, and you don't want to get those wicks too high. They'll start smoking. You can control the light. You can, that's borderline, kind of too smoky, and you can bring it way down if you want. Just barely. Find that sweet spot. It's probably about as bright as you want. Cool. Alright, well, if it doesn't leak, then we got ourselves another lantern. That's great.